And welcome back in trackside once again, race fans, live here tonight for the post-McFlurry 100 right here from the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway, the concrete jungle, bumping, banging. It's about to go down close to a third of the way through the regular season. Will we see Braxton Deweese go on a three-peat and pick up his third in a row? Will we see a new face in victory lane? We're going to find out here in just a handful of moments. But first, we'll head trackside for your premiere. RacingSetup.com qualifying session sitting top of the speed charts. Quick time here in qualifying belongs to the weight of Braxton Deweese. He's going to top the speed charts. 14:46 is the fast time. Brett the Jet with a top 5 qualifying attempt. Just about 2 minutes remaining here in qualifying, so a little bit of time, but with a shallow field, only 8 drivers in the field here tonight. Chasing not just after a checkered flag, but after a $20 purse. Post-McFlurry coming on, sponsoring not just tonight, but a handful of races throughout this entire season. $20 purse in the winner's spot. Who's going to take away the trophy, the checkered flag, and the cash at the end of tonight's Post-McFlurry 100? Right around the corner from finding out, there you can see Braxton Deweese going to once again start on the pole position. So as these drivers change the car over, get it back into race trim, we're going to start to set a little bit of the stage for tonight's action. The music's going to fade out. We've got 4 different victors so far this season. This is only race number 6. So finding your way to victory lane has been somewhat easy in its entirety, but very hard to repeat that performance. Tanner Tallarico, very talented driver, one of the top in the series. He has struggled to get back to victory lane. Brett the Jet has struggled. Andrew Payne not able to get back to victory lane. So these drivers chasing that second one. Some gonna try to get there first. Al Smith gonna be one of the drivers we're gonna have to watch out for out of that 96. Look for him to come up through the field. So that's gonna do it for qualifying. We're gonna take a quick commercial break and then head back trackside for your national anthem and starting the lineup. So with that being said, stay right here. We'll be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still that star-spangled banner yet waved o'er the land of the free in the home of
And we bring you trackside as drivers get set to head to the starting grid. We're going to get ready to get a little closer to the action. There you can see all the drivers beginning to file in down on pit road. We're going to jump a little closer to this field if we can. Let's see if we can get those cameras down a little closer to the track. And as we do, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, David the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, looks like we've got a little bit of issues with some of these drivers' liveries out there on the cars tonight, so we do apologize for. And as we get that all worked out, field gonna get ready to go, waiting the word for the boss man in the flag stand, and just like that, we are ready to kick things off here tonight. Drivers gonna leave pit road in the post floor 100, brought to you in partnership with the Premier Racing Setup.com. Starting inside row number 1, your pole sitter once again behind the wheel of that fast. Oh wait, Braxton Dewey's. Andrew Payne gonna line up just to his outside. Stephen Hoffman and Matt McLean in row number 2. Row number 3 here tonight, Brett Hahn, followed by Brian Wildest. Tanner Tallarico deep in the field here tonight. That 96 of Al Smith Jr. to start just to his outside. David Patton, Zachary Postma, and Jimmy McIntyre Jr. round out the 11 car field. That's going to do it for your starting lineup, and we're going to get ready to let these drivers unleash the beast. 200 miles of racing action here tonight. We're going to get set to roll, as it looks like some of those liveries are beginning to come into play for us, so we'll see if they continue to pop on up for some of these drivers. Can't have the sponsors mad at you this early in the season, you know what I mean? Off of 4 for the first time on the gas, and green flag flies here from Bristol. Lap number one quickly behind us here at the front of the field. Andrew Payne going to take over that top spot, grab the top spot away from your pole sitter, Dewey's, who falls back into that second position. Matt McLean in the third, Stephen Holtman back and forth. Brian Wildison rounds out your top five. Well, then we do apologize. Trading Paints doing what Trading Paints does. There we go. There you have it. Nonetheless, we're going to keep it rolling here. Lap number 5 going to quickly go on the board. We'll drop the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Looking to the top of the track. Matt McLean leaning on the bank and early here at Bristol. We're going to go the high side, making some headway here. DeWeese going to lose that position. The Singular Wireless number 31, and there you go. Now we're getting a little fresh look at all of these drivers' liveries out there. There's that 86 machine of Hawkwood sitting in fourth. Alderson still on the move in that 951. And how about the 31? He's going to go straight to the front of the field to the high side now. The 86 of Hoffman going to follow suit. He's going to go right around that 93 of Andrew Payne, who has just been stuck on the bottom side of the racetrack, keeping it glued to that yellow line. Race leader starts to pull away. McLean with a half a second advantage. A lot of action right here about mid-pack on back. Tallarico followed by Al Smith. Close racing action there with David Patton and Jimmy McIntyre. See side-by-side action here. The Pinkerton number 38 machine. David Patton going to move to that. There it is. Going to just line up the racetrack in front of that number 81 machine of Jimmy McIntyre. Close, tight racing here in the field. Al Smith all over the tail end of Tallarico. Let's jump on board. Do we got an on board here with Smith? We got one. There we go. Let's go on board with the turn 3 gyro cam. A little look and feel of the banking here tonight. Look at all the fans in the stands. Another sold out packed house yet again for the night race here at Bristol. Tallarico into the outside wall a little bit. You can see Smith having to jump out of the gas. We're going to move forward in the field. Driver running in third, Brian Wildison. You can see those two cars getting a little bit smaller, and that's not what you want. You're looking to try to reel these drivers in. We're going to take another look outside of the car. Let's take a look now at Brett Hahn, sitting in sixth. Where's he going? No, right now. Meet in the middle. See a race leader go by, adding just a little bit to that gap out over second place runner. Things still staying pretty tight here, mid-pack on back. These drivers all over each other. We're going to continue to watch this battle. Braxton DeWeese sitting at third. Or no, DeWeese has dropped all the way back to fifth now. Wildison able to make some moves, pick up the third position. Andrew Payne gonna fall back to fourth. Pole sitter all the way back now to fifth. Brett Hahn jumping at the bit, and it looks like the high side man. If I'm the spotter, I'm telling my driver to get to the top. Taking a look at that short-lived battle there, Jimmy McIntyre Jr. gonna head to the top side of the racetrack. Take the position away with a fair amount of ease. You see that 96 look to the high side as well. Al Smith Jr. heading to the top side of the racetrack. For the moment, I think the top side's the way to go. Not a lot of drivers running there. You can see that 38 just go up a little bit. Some connection issues here for the Pro Coat. Number 1 machine of Tanner Tallarico. He's going to head to the rear of the field. And Smith gonna fall right back in line. Looked like he wanted to head to the high side there for a moment, but elects to stay in line. We're gonna take a look off of the tail end of a handful full of these machines. Looking back at the bag, we're sponsored Ford. Taurus, piloted by Brett Hahn, Turn 3's very own Brett the Jet. He's been to victory lane this season, looking good as far as the point standings. Can he do it under the lights here at Bristol? Can he pick up that $20? A beautiful shot here. You can see multiple different lines. DeWeese running that extreme bottom. You can see right there Hahn able to drift off the track just a little bit further. Jimmy McIntyre Jr. running a third line of the racetrack, but we got side-by-side action. Let's get you to the front. Side-by-side battle for the race lead. McLean at the top. He was able to walk away for a handful of laps here, but quickly that 86 has reeled him in. Now Hoffman on the bottom of the racetrack. Catfish Billy here tonight. Can the bottom feeders win out? There it is across the line. Hoffman, the race leader at the front of the field. That side-by-side battle is going to bring Andrew Payne right back into the mix. That's going to pull the Bennett's 08 machine of Braxton DeWeese right along with him. Brian Robinson right there going to fall back into fifth. Hahn going to stay in sixth, lose a little bit of ground on DeWeese. Hot and heavy battle as we cross the line. Lap number 33 gonna go on the board now. And how long do these guys really want to stay side by side? You're gonna begin to really start to let the field reel you in. You can already see back to fifth right here. One mistake, and a driver's gonna be able to go from 6th, 7th, right up inside of your top three. So these guys all over each other very early here tonight. Back across the stripe. All green flag laps so far here tonight in the Postmut Flooring 100. The PremierRacingSetup.com Pole Award winner. Faltering just a little bit. He's still within striking distance, sitting right there. Third car, top side of the racetrack. Fourth overall, Braxton DeWeese. Hunting for a way around, but here at Bristol, you definitely get that moving roadblock feel, right? That gridlock at 100 plus miles an hour. Oh, you don't think these guys are driving over 100 miles an hour on this half-mile racetrack? You don't believe it, huh? Let's take a little look at McLean right here off of the corner exit, all the way down to straightaway, almost 141 on that mile an hour. Guys are absolutely getting it. That's like watching marbles race in a blender. Is that a thing yet? Is that on YouTube yet? Marble racing in a blender. They got marble racing, so maybe we. I don't know if we can do that. I don't know. We'll have to check with the copyright. And just like that, your Premier Racing Setup Pro Award winner, he says it's my time to head back to the front and lead tonight's race. He's going to press the gas, make a move or two back to the bottom, now reclaims the race lead. Hit immediately. Rockets to a 6/10 of a second advantage. Can he break the draft of the drivers behind him with 93 into the outside wall just a little bit here at Bristol? Important to be able to do. Even more so than what you might think here at Bristol. Yes, it's a short track. You know, the draft isn't too prevalent. But if you can break that little bit of a draft and keep the drag off of the tail end of the car, you can really begin to open up the corner exits. You can really begin to stretch your legs and open up those advantages. And it allows you to step away, but there you can see who Van 8 is Zachary Postma struggling. Bottom of the racetrack, he's going to get out of the way of the lead lap cars. Everybody going to go around, clean and clear here. As previous race leader, Matt McLean struggling a little bit here in this mid-run. Did he use the tires up too much? A bit too early. But as we were saying about breaking away and getting away from your fellow competitors, what you gotta watch out for is what Deweese may be running into here shortly. Catching lap traffic. That can be a huge factor in whether you gain or give up a ton of time. We've already seen making passes can be quite difficult here at Bristol Motor Speedway as we are a quarter of the way through tonight's race. And we have also seen just how quickly you can lose positions if that door's opened up at the wrong time. McLean from 4th to 1st, now back to 6th. That is just how quick things can happen here at Bristol. I know a lot of fans and spectators alike love to see those high mile-an-hour super speedway type races where a lot can happen. There's a lot going on, but trust me, there is a lot going on behind the wheels right now with these drivers. Believe me, let's take a look a little bit inside. The man putting in work behind the wheel inside the office. The 951 of Brian Wildison sit right here in that 4th position. Working the wheel hard. You can see trying to make that pass on the 93 of Andrew Payne down at the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to make it work at the top side here. Last lap or two here at Bristol. Braxton Deweese opening up the biggest lead of the night already. 2-second advantage, man. Deweese starting to stretch the legs. Big impact. Sparks flying under the lights here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The 86 going to get into the outside wall. A little bit of connection problems there for that 86. He's going to pull the Magic Man moment. Now you see him, now you don't. A little bit of disappearing act. They're going to keep it clean and clear. 951, bottom of the racetrack, looking for a way around that 86 of Hoffman. Whoa, almost contact there as Hoffman tries to get to the inside of the racetrack. You can see Al Smith Jr. already onto pit road. Smith going to lose a handful of laps now. And here at Bristol, do you pull an undercut? Right tire fall off? Not particularly big here at Bristol. Whether you use last week's or this past week's race at Bristol Motor Speedway with the big boys on Saturday night with Kyle Larson, absolutely. I mean, Larson put it on them boys. But not a lot of tire fall off. There hasn't generally been a ton of tire fall off here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We have seen from time to time the track really take a ton of rubber at the beginning, but then that tire fall off kind of evens itself out, and we get back, and the speeds begin to start averaging back out right what they were. So I'm not too keen about jumping to short pitting here at Bristol. I like extending the runs. You could possibly catch the field 2, maybe even 3 laps down. Really set yourself apart. We'll see what the strategies are throughout the field here tonight as we continue this long green flag run of Zachary Postma onto pit lane. And a scheduled stop for Al Smith. Smith with a pretty solid stop as well, but still gonna fall 3 laps down to your race leader as we watch Brian Wildison right here sitting in second. Let's get to the battle on the track, guys. Let's get right here. Thank you. Tanner Tallarico, the Pro Coat. Number 1. You seen him earlier tonight do the gentleman's move. Give up a handful of positions as he struggled with some connection problems. But it seems like the electrical engineers have fixed and righted the ship, and here we are. Battling for positions once again. Tallarico looking to work his way up through this field. Brett Hahn all over the 93 of Andrew Payne. 4 lined up in a row, but Postma multiple laps down now after making his first green flag pit stops. We started tonight's race with the 11 drivers. We are down to only 10. Early exit from the field, the 38 of David Patton. Gonna pull his machine behind pit wall, head to the hauler a little bit early. The day is done. He will enjoy some great racing action from inside the infield. And you know, that's the thing about Bristol, right? A lot of these bigger tracks, if your day's done, you can load up in the hauler, you can head on out through the tunnel. There ain't no tunnel here at Bristol. And I'm going to use a little bit of language right now. Hopefully nobody gets offended or in their feelings about it. If the driver pisses you off, you can wait. Because he's got to come back to the infield too. And he's got to wait for the whole post-race show. And for the fence to be opened up for the haulers to begin to head out. It is not an early exit from the track, so while tempers may flare, drivers given the opportunity to air it out after the race in the infield. We've seen it happen a handful of times. Will it happen tonight? Not so sure about that, as Braxton DeWeese, nobody to argue and fight with except himself, front of this field for second advantage over Brian Wildison. Tanner Tallarico sits in third, Brett Hahn fourth, and Drew Payne in fifth. About 20 laps away from the halfway point, and 20 laps can be a blink of an eye. Tanner Tallarico back to those Magic Man moments. We'll shift our focus back to the front runners. Braxton DeWee's going to put a handful of drivers one lap down. Han, McIntyre, and McLean all to pit road. As we were saying, though, before the pit road update, 20 laps away from the halfway point, 20 laps can be gone in the blink of an eye here at Bristol Motor Speedway. These drivers still laying down lap times of under 16 seconds, a half a mile. Think about that, guys. You're on the interstate and you're driving. How long does it take you to go from this exit to that exit? Which is typically about a mile, maybe 2 or 3 in between. These drivers, these machines, built for horsepower. Tearing the concrete up at speeds of over 140 miles an hour. Twice. Cornering at over 100 miles an hour. 16 seconds, half a mile. Absolutely. Ooh, DeWeese loose on the bottom of the racetrack. Drivers may be eyeballing these green flag pit stops. Looks like DeWeese may have been trying to see the mark, see where it was down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Big loose condition. He's going to keep the car underneath him this time around. 4-second advantage. This to the high side goes Jimmy McIntyre Jr. Jimmy going to pick up one of his laps back. And the consensus right now is 3 laps. Brett Hahn was running just outside of your top 5 with his green flag pit stop. Now listed 3 laps down. And this just goes into what we were talking about earlier. When we said putting yourself in a position to where you can almost put the entire field 2 to 3 laps down, that's really your best pit road strategy. You can see a handful of these drivers trying to work their way back to just 2 laps down. Brett Hahn gonna be the next driver to do so, and there it is. As 71 Viagra machine trying to get it up and keep up with your race leader. Just failing a little bit right here. Not quite the speed that maybe he's looking for here tonight. But Braxton DeWeese, man, he's been on point, on fire all night long. Dropped back for about those first 30 laps or so. But since heading to the front of the racetrack, just opening things up, walking away from the field in a commanding lead there. You can see your race leader. Gonna come to the picture right there. You have him. At a turn 4, back across the stripe, lap number 93 goes on the pole. So about half of the field with their green flag pit stops. Andrew Payne and Stephen Hoffman close to being put 1 lap down before making their pit stop. Those 2 drivers are going to have to play this thing very carefully. You can see them right there. You can see them off in the foreground. They are not too far off. And let's take a look. Let's throw those times up for you. Let's take a little look at these lap times here. Last time around, Braxton DeWeese 16-second flat. Brett Hahn 14:73. So about 1.3 seconds faster. That's not a huge far off. Remember, race fans out there watching, joining us here tonight on the YouTube side of things, we're 96 laps into tonight's race. Brett Hahn was on pit road back at lap number 78. So he's got 78 lap fresher tires, and that's only giving him a 1.3 second advantage. The tire fall off the conditions of the tires really not too much of a factor unless we get a restart. That's when you really got to think about utilizing some of those sets of tires down there behind pit wall. And it looks like DeWeese may try to be splitting this thing in half. Very close to putting this entire field a one lap down. Tanner Tallarico gonna head to pit road this time around. Race leader Braxton DeWeese to pit road. DeWeese to pit road. Wilderson gonna head down to pit lane. Stephen Hoffman right here in that 86 machine. Will it become our newest race leader here tonight? Yes, he will. He's gonna stay out on the racetrack, looking to lead a lap here tonight. There you can see him through 3 and 4, back across the stripe. New race leader here at Bristol with less than 100 to go. We'll wait for the green flag pit cycle to finish itself out. Then we will get into some of your driver highlights, spotlights, your mid-race report. As we sit right now, only one driver on the lead lap. Only one driver on the lead lap. But we are looking at something that is that it's going to be big. There you can see right there Braxton DeWeese, Brett Hahn, all fighting for positions. There you can see that 86 machine. He's going to head down pit road for his first stop of the night. This very well may put Hahn in the sweet spot. He's going to take over the race lead. But he's going to leapfrog DeWeese. He is going to leapfrog DeWeese and put a huge gap in between himself and DeWeese as well. Flipping the script, and maybe the undercut is maybe I was going the wrong way on that, but man, because not only did Hahn go from about 6th to 1st, but he's done it and put on a 12-second gap. That's huge. But now the tables are turned as well. 22 lap fresher tires for Braxton DeWeese. You can see that deficit dissipating quickly lap after lap. Last time around 14:78 for DeWeese. Hahn with a 15:33, so just about 7 tenths, 3/4 of a second faster. And that's not going to help Hahn right there. Outside wall contact, not going to help one bit. So 10 laps past the halfway point, we'll get to our mid-race report here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching the Barricade Sim Racing Club Gen 4 Series, brought to you by PremierRacingSetups.com, iRacing's longest running setup shop for the platform. If you're looking to be quick behind the wheel, they've got it covered from dirt to asphalt. Doesn't matter, closed wheel, open wheel, 10 tops, they've got rallycross. They can improve any aspect of the game. Give them a shout, give them a look. You can find them right down in the description. Click that link, head on over, use the Turn 3 discount code, get a little bit of something off for your liking from us right here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. So as we run lap 114 on the board, 11 drivers to the starting grid tonight. 10 still remain on track, but only 2 on the lead lap. We went from 50 plus laps in Multiple positions up for grabs. Battles at the front. The two drivers tapping away, separating themselves. If we're going to make it a third now as Tanner Talarico, we're going to start to see these drivers begin to run down Han. Get themselves back on the lead lap. So that's going to be a fluid moving statistic. So we're going to keep it off of that. But green flag racing here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway. We have been non-stop since the drop of the green flag. Brent Hahn sits top of the charts, up 4 positions from where he qualified. Watching that Viagra machine perform here tonight. It's easy when you got the bill up at the top, keeping it up, keeping it fast, and Hahn back across the stripe, lap 119 on the board. I don't know. You know what? I like the strategy of Han now that I think about it. I mean, he's still got a 2.5 second advantage. Quickly, DeWeese is going to reel him in. But I don't think Andrew Payne, I don't think Tanner Talarico, I don't think they're going to be within striking distance, but I mean, we were at lap 115 with 12-second difference between Han and DeWeese, and here it is. You're going to see DeWeese in that Bennett 08 machine just off of Ford, chasing down Brett Hahn, top side of the racetrack, trying to get by that singular number 31 machine of Matt McLean, trying to hold on to a lead lap position. I think it's going to be a fight for naught. Because as he fights to keep Han behind him, here comes DeWeese quickly. He's going to have no trouble at getting by. That 71 back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Door has opened up and around he goes. DeWeese does away with lap traffic and sets sail. Brett Hahn losing a little bit of the battle now. Those 20-something lap older tires definitely showing their wear as Han has made his way into that 16-second category on the lap time. Only driver in that 16-second category, so quickly those tires flipping the opposite way. So with 4 sets of tires in the pits here tonight at the start of tonight's race, these drivers onto pit road to use 1 set of Goodyear tires. They've got 3 sitting there. I don't think we're going to see another round of green flag pit stops. I don't think anybody comes back down pit road unless they have a problem. But tires, should we get a late race, gosh, tires are going to be a no-brainer. We're at the point now where most of the drivers in the field have been on this set of tires for at least 30 laps. It's going to be enough that you're not going to want to stay out and give up difference to those French tires. Should we have a problem, it looks like the field should hold serve. McLean would get that lucky dog, the 31 singular machine. Gotta fight hard here. Because if DeWeese can run down Andrew Payne and put him a lap down, that's going to take away the opportunity for McLean to pick up the lucky dog in a caution situation. But with the field pretty much spread out, no real battles to speak of, we're going to pick up a battle right here. And just as we get to the battle, short-lived, the 86 going to head to the top side of the racetrack. Stephen Hoffman going to take the spot away from Al Smith, Smith has just kind of been stuck. stuck right around that 6th, 7th, 8th position pretty much all night long. Has made a little bit of headway, but then given up some spots and kind of just a bit of a yo-yo for Smith behind the wheel of that Smith setup shop, speed shop, number 96 machine. We'll see if the Northeast driver can find a little bit of speed to close things out here at Bristol. Meanwhile, let's take a little look at your race leader once again. There you can see Braxton DeWeese still showing the way. Out front, he's got himself a 10-second advantage now, as Tanner Tallarico has taken second spot away from Brett Holmes. Matt McLean with problems. McLean with problems. A spin out of the corner, and he's going to head down pit road. That is going to put an end to the night before that 31's chances. Done, gone, out the window. Tough break here tonight for that 31 who looked really strong earlier here tonight. If you joined us earlier in tonight's broadcast, that 31 man, he stepped out of line, went to the top side of the racetrack, and pretty much showed this field that the top side can be quick. Went to the top side of the racetrack, gained, I believe it was 5 positions to pick up the race lead, stepped out to about a 1-second advantage, but then got caught up with some lap traffic and battling side by side. After the round of green flag pit stops, it was just in trouble for that 31 of McLean, who is now listed 5 laps down. Just a tough second half of the race. And we're not going to give him the broadcaster's curse or anything like that, but right now, Braxton DeWeese is the only one that can get in Braxton DeWeese's way. Over the course of these past 3 weeks, we've seen DeWeese go out and win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. After taking the pole position at Las Vegas, missing out on that race win, going into Atlanta Motor Speedway, walking away with the win, heading to Pocono last week, putting it back on the pole position, getting it to victory lane, coming here tonight, back on pole position. It looks like DeWeese. We're 50 laps away, but he's got this thing wrapped up right here. 12 and a half second advantage. He's just got to keep it clean. Let's not change anything. Let's not go any harder. Let's not try to get any more out of the car. With these lap machines, if they come up behind you, let them go. Let them by. We're not fighting them. We are now racing the track. Purely racing the track. Your competition is nobody. Don't turn a great night into a what could have been night. For all the fans with that red on out there in the stands, and when we take a little look at the camera shot, they're going to be, you see a lot of red in the stands here tonight. These DeWeese fans getting a show. And we talked about would we see a Larson style dominating performance here tonight at Bristol. We talked about how the tire wear wasn't too much of a factor, and it wasn't too much of a factor at this Saturday night's race. Here we are. Deweese taking back the race lead right around lap 62, 63. And he hasn't looked back. Call it what you want. Call it what you will. I'm gonna call it domination. You'd see Brett Hahn, that's 71. He's got fresh Goodyear tires. He's gonna make up a ton of time. Listed right now, 2 laps down. And again, if I'm the crew chief, I'm already on the radio. As that 71 gets by, I'm immediately on the radio. Braxton, hey, buddy, let's not worry about that 71. He's going to come up through the field quick. The Wagner car is going to get there. He's going to be fast. He's going to be pumping out some great lap times on those new rubbers. But let's not let that get us out of our mind state, our mind frame, our concentration levels. Let's stay focused on it. We pitted at lap 100. We can make it all the way to the end on this tank of fuel. I need you to do what you've been doing. Take good care of these tires. He's not going to lap us another 2 times for the race win. It's just not going to happen. So we'll keep him focused. We'll see if that pays off for Deweese, who's now put Andrew Payne a lap down. So Payne sits in 3rd podium position, down a lap. Sheesh. Better bring your A game when you come to the blender. The last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. Beaten down to the veterans in the field. You see these 2 guys right here, Hahn and Tallarico. Andrew Payne even in at 93, running in 3rd. Well-known, respected drivers here with the American Sim Racing Club. And they are punch drunk right now. Beat down from Braxton. It just absolute pure domination. And to put it into perspective, can we get it on? Do we have one? Or do we tell me we have it on board with our pulsar? All right. Well, this is our onboard camera here tonight on board that Bennett's. The Chevrolet front of the field, Braxton Deweese right here down the backstretch and into turn number 3. That is Tanner Tallarico, the driver sitting in 2nd, right there in front of him. This is just how close Deweese is to putting the entire field. The entire field. Everybody but the fans. 1 lap down. Call it a day. Call it done. I don't know that there's anything more you can do. Ooh, little touch of the wall right there. You can see him up into the marbles. A little bit of dirt and dust starting to collect at the high side of the racetrack, and quickly Deweese says, no, sir, none of that. He's going to head back to the bottom. Little bit loose there. And 1 and 2. You see just how dirty that high line is. A lot of rubber at the top side of the racetrack. Express Tires coming to your race leader, Al Smith Jr. Gonna head to the top side of the racetrack. Get himself one of his laps back, and now sitting just 6 laps down. And well, Doug, Chris, if you're joining us, if you're still watching here tonight, you came at a good time. You came to watch a great race. Your favorite driver absolutely bullying these guys. You know, we used to, a little off subject, 25 laps to go this time around. When I was helping coach wrestling and coaching my daughter through the youth ranks in Western North Carolina, there used to be a massive tournament for the youth wrestlers all the way up to 9th grade eligibility. And it was called the Bristol Brawl. And it was one of the biggest, baddest wrestling tournaments that you ever wanted to be a part. They had a round called the Beatdown. And it was, if you lost early, you were able to, the consolation rounds, it became the Bristol Beatdown from the Brawl. You were able to work your way back up. And if you won that 3rd place match, if you ended up winning that 3rd place match, you had the opportunity to wrestle back for 1st. You could inform the judges you wanted to have that opportunity. They would put the man or woman that finished 2nd on the mat with you. If you won, you got to go back and get it. These drivers better have some baseball bats if they're going to try to pry not just the checkered flag, but the $20 cash prize out of the hands of Braxton DeWeese here tonight. This thing is going to be over in a heartbeat. And with now over a 14-second advantage, it's done. Absolutely done. I'm calling it. It's done. It's over. DeWeese with his 3rd race win of the season. A 3-peat at that, man. Nobody's been able to do it. Nobody's been able to get to victory lane for a 2nd time except for DeWeese. And now he's really separating himself, not just on track, but in the winners column and in those point standings. I believe we have 1 week off coming at you next week. Let me double check the schedule. Let me make sure I'm not giving you any false advertisement, any fake news out there. But I do believe the week off next week, we're just a little bit of a break, and then we're going to be hitting Watkins Glen International Raceway, first road course of the season, as we begin that 5-race run down to the end of the regular season. Oh, DeWeese in the outside wall. Not going to affect the gap. But what a way to close out the first half of the regular season, right? On a 3-race winning tangent. We're going to have 6 weeks of racing. I apologize, math a little bit wrong. We're going to have 6 weeks of racing to finish out the regular season and to set the championship grid. Top 12 drivers going to make it into the playoffs. And right now, if I had to place money on somebody, if there was a DraftKings line on this one, DeWeese is in my lineup. He's in my lineup every week. Every week. Because if he hasn't been in the race lead, he's been inside the top 5. I mean, just week after week, race after race. multiple pole positions, multiple top fives. This driver's for real. And he is serious. And he is seriously beating the brakes off these boys. I'm screaming foul. If I'm one of these drivers in the field, if I'm Tanner Tallarico in that Pro Coat #1 machine, if I see Deweese get back around me, I'm screaming illegal, illegal. There's something on the car. Because I don't want to admit that another driver is just that good at a particular track. Road course, okay, I might give it to you. If I'm not a road course racer, I might give you that. But here at a half mile, nah, but you running something that you, man, I don't know. I don't know. We're going to stay right here with your race leader, Braxton Deweese, as he's running down Tanner Tallarico. This is not a battle for the top spot. This is a battle to stay on the lead lap between the drivers inside of your top two with just 3 laps to go. Can Tanner Tallarico salvage some pride by keeping himself on the lead lap? Obstacle sticks on display. We're going to see 2 to go for the boss man in the flag stand as Braxton Deweese still out front by 16 seconds. Good God. That's going to do it. White flag flies. Final lap here in the Postma Flooring 100 for the American Sim Racing Club Gen 4 Series. Braxton Deweese, your Premier Racing Setup Pole Award winner, going to dominate tonight's race. And come out of turn number 4, back across the stripe. Race win number 3, checkered flag and cash picked up along with the pole award here tonight. He's gonna clean sweep in the points, maximize everything here tonight. Sheesh. Man, if I'm loading up and going home, if I'm a lot of these guys in the field, I don't want to talk. I just want to let this beat down go away. Post-race celebration in order once again for the man behind the wheel of that number 8 machine. Braxton Deweese going to bring the Bennett's 08 back. We're checkered flag smoke show at the start-finish line. We're going to step away, get things set up for your post-race show. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And back high above the track here at Bristol Motor Speedway at the conclusion of tonight's post flooring 100. What a race, what a night. We're going to dive right into our post race show. Let's see if we can dial up and have a few words with the man that walked away with the final spot on the podium. Finishes in third here tonight behind the wheel of that number 93 machine. Andrew, it's Dave. You got a copy?
I do.
Hey, bud, how you doing? How you feeling at the end of tonight's race? To hear from Bristol, a little bit of a rough go, but still a pretty good night, huh?
Yeah, it was man, this was this was less about racing, each other, and it was more about racing the track at the end. This is the first time I've taken these cars here, and I expected a little bit of right front tire wear, but man, this was something else. We were pushing real bad at the end of both those runs, and it doesn't help that we did go 200 laps green, so I'm sure that was made the night go by quickly, but finishing the race in under an hour, it felt like we had been running for a couple hours there with how bad we were pushing at times, and I'm, I'm glad this one's over, but it's fun. It was sort of like that the Spring Bristol race earlier this year with the in the real life cup car.
Absolutely. Well, Andrew, want to look at the regular season. We are at that halfway point in the regular season. We've got a week off before we head to the Glen, and then back to another short track at Martinsville, then the big unknown race at Talladega. How are you feeling about your championship? I don't want to say dreams just yet, but how are you feeling about your championship chances? And how do you think that second half of the regular season is going to go?
I think we have some pretty good tracks coming up. I'm really looking forward to the Glen. I'm a huge road racer, and Martinsville. I think Martinsville will be a little iffy just because with how tonight went. But there's a lot more potential for accidentally getting turned, especially with how the bumpers mesh in these cars. And then Talladega's Talladega. It's a wild card. Um, I am looking forward to the back half of that half of the season too with the Auto Club Iowa and Charlotte. We were really good at Vegas earlier, and we were really good at Atlanta. So I'm sort of banking on those mile and a halves. Auto Club being a 2 mile. As long as I don't do the same fuel strategy as I did last week, I think we should be golden. And I know Iowa's a short track. I believe it's 3/4 of a mile or just over 3/4 of a mile, but I think we'll be good there. I mean, we showed well here tonight with the third place, but looking forward to it. I'd love to rattle off a couple more wins in that second half of the season. It would really help. I know Braxton's got a lot of bonus points here with I think this is his third win in a row, and gotta catch up to him a little bit, or with those bonus points, or just once playoff time rolls around, just run really good. But I'm looking forward to a break and a little bit of a reset here, and we'll go get it at the in the second half.
Well, man, a hell of a job here tonight to walk away with the podium finish. As you said, a chance to hit that reset button by taking a week off, refocusing that energy for the second half of the regular season. So, again, Andrew, congratulations before we let you go. Shout-outs, thank yous, love yous.
First and foremost, huge shout out to you, Dave, and Turn 3 for broadcasting this race. As I'm gonna look forward to going back and watching this one after the after stuff gets situated tonight. Huge shout out to Brett, Tanner, all the other admins for putting on leagues, races, all these series. It's been a blast. Huge shout out to all the fellow competitors out there too, Braxton, Steven, all these guys. They're it's a blast to race with these guys. I feel like we have some really good races, and I know we're a little light on car count tonight, but it was still a good race with all these guys nonetheless. Huge shout out to all my partners, Team Conti Sim Performance, Hall Metal Fab, Citrus Heights Lawn Mower, V&H Fresh, QuickTime Motorsports Media. Huge shout out to my parents and grandparents. And last but certainly not least, huge shout out to all the fans that come out and support us drivers, the broadcast, the league, all the racing. Really, really appreciate it, and definitely would not be here without your guys' support.
Well, again, Andrew, congratulations here tonight. We're going to wait a week to see if we can't join you turning left and right at the Glen. Until then, my friend, as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Find a few words for the man behind the wheel of that number 93 machine, the California Kid. Gonna walk away with yet another podium finish here tonight, and that's gonna move us right along to a familiar face and somewhat of a familiar place. Tanner Tallarico gonna walk away with second here tonight. Let's see if we can't dial up the driver of that one machine. Tanner, it's Dave. What's going on, bud?
Hey Dave, how are you?
Same old stuff, different date, new racetrack, and well, I mean, not necessarily a new face in victory lane or in second place, man. Hell of a run. Did you think it was going to be this long of a green flag run here tonight? I mean, you can be honest. The race is over.
No, my ass is 100% kicked. That was that was a long one. It definitely felt longer than it was once I got out of the car and I looked at the laps time, and we did 200 laps in 52 minutes, which is incredible. Definitely a new record for us as far as consecutive green flag laps go in the league. But yeah, that was a tough one. Battled a little bit of connection issues early in the race that kind of bit me pretty much up until we pit right there at halfway, and just kind of had to deal with it. So basically, yeah, didn't qualify great. Gave up those spots to the connection issue, and then just kind of had to pick and claw my way back throughout the field with some tire saving and pit strategy, and got back to second, and had Braxton right on me there at the end. I was racing him like we were on the lead lap, even though I knew he was coming to lap me. I was racing him like it was for the lead, and it was fun.
Now, man, you did mention it. We're going to talk about it. I don't want to dwell on it. You did battle to keep yourself on the lead lap at the end of this thing. Were you surprised that you were able to claw your way up through the field the way you did, having those early electrical issues, as I like to call them? Kind of no fault of your own. You just kind of got to roll with the punches you're dealt. Were you surprised that you were able to recover through the round of green flag pit stops and still keep enough speed built in to work your way to second?
Yes and no. I mean, we pretty much all season this season, I feel like I've been fast enough to contend. It's just always been little stuff like tonight that's kind of gotten in the way of kind of letting me get a win here or there. But yeah, I felt good in practice. I felt like I could run the bottom of the racetrack really, really strong. I never at any point during the night felt like I was really pushing the car too hard and overdriving. I always felt like the right front was under me, which is a big thing here. There's a lot of landing load on entry, and it's easy to kind of chew up the right front tire. So yeah, I always felt like the right front was underneath me. So with that, compiled with the pit strategy, I just those two things pretty much all night long. I just tried to hold the same pace from the time that I had new tires to the time my tires expired at the end of the run. And yeah, having the field kind of split their pit strategy 50-50, handful of guys electing to do the two-stop, handful electing to do the one-stop. It kind of all worked out. I think the one-stop was the way to go. And like I say, that combined with the tire conservation out the whole race, it kind of worked out to help me get back up there.
Well, man, we've got 6 behind us, 6 more to go in the regular season. Before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, Zachary Postma at Postma Flooring came on board for Bristol tonight, as well as he's going to have 4 other races coming up in this series that he's going to offer up $20 to win. So Braxton will go home with $20, courtesy of Zach at Postma Flooring. So that's cool. Also want to give a shout out to Zach. He sponsors me in real life on the real car. Has done a lot for me over the last 2 years or so. So shout out to Zach. I don't think he had the run that he wanted to tonight, but nonetheless, I appreciate everything that he does for not only myself but the league. And then Pro Coat that we got on the hood. My buddy Chad that owns Pro Coat. He's a big sim racer guy. Loves to tune into these streams. I'm not sure if he watches them all live, but I'm sure he'll go back and watch a replay. And then all the members that we got here at ASRC that make this thing go around, and then our awesome panel admins that we got as well. So, and then you, of course, for putting this on. You guys at Turn 3 do a phenomenal job with both of our series, and just appreciate all you guys do for us.
Hey man, they just said come here and sit down, and here I am. So, we appreciate everything you guys do out there on track, because without you guys putting out the action, there'd be nothing for me to do but sit up here and I don't even know what I would talk about. Good thing I don't have a podcast. That'd be dangerous.
You'd figure something out, Dave. You'd figure out something.
I probably would. You know me too well, Tanner. Well, man, hell of a season start. 1 race win, 6 down, 6 more to go. We'll see how you go at the Glen, but until then, my friend, as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
All right, there you have it. Tanner Tallarico gonna battle hard at the end, but just to defend himself from going 1 lap down. We'll see how that Pro Code number 1 goes when we hit the road course. Will we get back to action? And, well, we've seen him here time and time again. It hasn't been a long-awaited time frame, but he's going to pick up the 3-peat and grab 3 in a row with $20 extra in his pocket here tonight from Bristol as well. Braxton, man, how good's it feel?
Man, it feels pretty nice to be able to go back to back to back. I went into this race just not really expecting too much. I honestly didn't expect to get the pole, and we were able to get the pole, and I was like, all right, we got something here. So we rolled with it and kind of saved the tires in the first run and lit like 4 or 5 cars by. And then we started railing back in after about 30-some laps, something like that. So we had a pretty good car. We were able to keep the right front on it. I feel like that's what a lot of people's problem was keeping the right front on it. So I was glad we were able to, keep it on it enough to be able to run how we did and lap as many cars as we did. So, it's pretty cool to do what we did. And it's also awesome for it to go green all the way at Bristol, especially Bristol. You don't really see that at all in real life or on iRacing. So I just think that's pretty badass that we were able to go green as well.
Yeah, I know I know there's going to be some people that may have watched tonight's race or may join and watch at some point in time and think, oh God, over 100 plus laps green. This is boring, and they just don't understand how much work goes into doing something like that, especially here at Bristol. I like to call it marbles in a blender. I'm gonna see if I can come up with a YouTube thing for that one, but that's a whole nother story.
That's pretty good.
But I mean, essentially, that's what it is here. Like Bristol is, it's crazy, but yeah. Enough of that. 3 wins on the season now. We've got 6 more races before the championship chase begins. I know you show up to the track to try to win every single week, but do you think maybe now you're allowed to, or you're afforded the opportunity to maybe throw some crazy strategies if things aren't necessarily looking like they're falling your way, having these 3 wins to fall back on now?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely gives you more leeway to be able to open the strategy, like you said. Just kind of just relax a little bit, try new things with, with a couple things that you can change with the fixed setup, with that being the steering ratio, the brake bias, and the steering offset. Just messing with them things and trying to see if you can go a little bit quicker. Always trying to find that extra 10th, 1,000th, all of it. So, just try to find some things, see if we can find something, and then try to apply that to any of the races in the chase or something like that. So, yeah, we can definitely try to do some things, try some strategies, but all in all, we're still going to try to be the fastest car as we can and go for more wins.
Well, man, a hell of a job to close out the first half of the regular season. I'm sure we're going to be talking again throughout the course of the rest of this year. Enjoy this race when you got a week off to party and celebrate, so you can do whatever you like, within reason. Let's not get too crazy here, but anyways, man, hell of a job here tonight. Before we let you go, shout outs, thank yous, love yous.
Yeah, for sure. Big shout out to Bennett's Public on the car, getting him 3 in a row. Big shout out to them, as well as Interstate Ford, Allen's Arts Images, Jane's on Main, Dewey's Renovations, Booth 34 Diecast, Arrival Cinematography, Blaze Designs, as well as Evan Pineda Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. You can use Brax5 for 10% off over there, and hopefully we can take the off week to figure some stuff out. We're gonna be racing another league to, just try to keep ourselves busy. But all in all, we'll have some time to try to see if we can figure something out for the following week and see if we can make it 4 in a row.
Well, man, you got an uphill battle, left and right-hand turns when we hit the Glen. We'll see if you can get it done at the first road course race of the season. Until then, my man, as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
I appreciate it, Dave. Have a good one.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from the man that walks away in victory lane once again. Gonna pick up the most laps led. Gonna pick up the Premier Racing Setup.com pole award. Gonna walk away with his 3rd victory in checkered flag here tonight. Also gonna walk away a little bit heavier in the pocket. $20 for walking away with a crown jewel race event. $20 to the runner. Winner sponsored by Postma Flooring. Big shout out to Zachary Postma and everybody over there at Postma Flooring. An amazing sponsor to work with. Glad they could be on board here tonight at Bristol. And again, just an amazing night and an iconic night, really. Not just for Braxton DeWeese that walked away with the race win in such a dominating fashion. But the fact that these drivers were able to go 200 laps with no problems, no issues, no cautions is a testament unto itself. Under 1 hour, 100 miles behind us, these guys absolutely banging it out. An amazing job here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway. And as you can hear those familiar sounds in the background, you know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results live from Bristol Motor Speedway in the Postma Flooring 100. Walking away with the checkered flag, 3rd winner in a row on the 3-peat into the off weekend. The Bennetts. Wade of a Braxton DeWeese going to celebrate his race-winning performance here tonight. Tanner Tallarico going to be the only driver to finish on the lead lap with DeWeese. Tallarico will walk away 2nd here tonight, coming home in 3rd. Final spot on your podium, the 93 of Andrew Payne. Stephen Hoffman going to pick up 4th while finishing out your top 5, the 71 of Brett Haas. Ron Wildison had a look at the race lead early here tonight, but he's going to falter and fall back to 6th. The Smith Speed Shop numbers 81 machine. Jimmy McIntyre Jr. going to finish in 7th, with Matt McLean picking up 8th. 9th tonight to Al Smith Jr. Zachary Postman going to finish in 10th. And the 38 of David Patton going to have some early race troubles and an early exit here tonight for Patton, who will finish out our 11 car field here tonight for the American Sim Racing Club. Gen 4 Series Postma Flooring 100 live from Bristol Motor Speedway. That's going to pretty much do it for us. That's pretty much going to be it. We're going to begin to cut off the lights and roll up the cords. Take us a little bit of a breather. Get ready for road course action in just 2 short weeks. Upstate New York. Will Smith be one of the names we have to watch out? Will the hometown race bring some magic to that 96? We're going to find out when we head there. Until we get there, if you haven't already, remember to show these drivers some love and appreciation. Be sure to drop them a thumbs up before you go. But before you go, be sure to join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers that love. Drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters, we appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. With that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.